Los Angeles. It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, God.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. You may know that this week the Massachusetts High Court declared that gays are entitled to get married. Now, of course, this applies right now only in Massachusetts. But the High Court in Massachusetts is called the Supreme Judicial Court. And they said civil unions are not enough. These are the first legally sanctioned same-sex weddings. They have to be taken care of by spring. They have to be a whole backlog of people who've been waiting to get married. Gay men and lesbians, then now Massachusetts has to marry them. That's it. And your president, currently running for re-election, and we don't give a rat's ass about politics on the Tom Leykis Show, but he's certainly a person you've heard of, the President of the United States, said that a constitutional amendment will be necessary to ban gay marriages if judges persist in approving them. In a written statement, he termed deeply troubling the decision that same-sex couples in Massachusetts have a right to marry, not just form civil unions, and reiterated a position staked out in his State of the Union speech last month. Marriage is a sacred institution between a man and a woman, he said in the statement. If activist judges insist on redefining marriage by court order, the only alternative will be the constitutional process. We must do what is legally necessary to defend the sanctity of marriage. That's what the president said. Now, you know me. We don't talk about politics on this show. And I have not come on the air and endorsed a candidate for president because I, frankly, wouldn't give you 2 cents for any of these guys. But I do believe that marriage, as far as the state is concerned, is a business proposition. It is the forming of a corporation in which two parties each own 50% of the proceeds. That is what it is. The state doesn't care about love or kisses or honeymoons or romance or Valentine's Day or weddings or chapels or, theoretically, religion. The reason the state gets involved is so that we can assign last names to the little crumb crunchers and rugrats that are going to be produced from these unions, and so that attorneys can get rich making money off the morons who allow their lives to be debated in court by a judge who gets the knives, who gets the forks. People get rich debating that stuff. As I have always said on this program, and this is not made up, this is absolutely the truth. When you get married, you get what is known as a marriage certificate from the state where you live. I know here in California that's true, because I've been married here before. And that certificate is not handed to you the day you get married. Oh, no, no, no. That certificate is sent to Sacramento, the state capital, where the Secretary of State affixes a raised seal, much like the raised seal you've seen on documents you've had notarized. And that raised seal, by the way, is the very same one that is placed on your articles of incorporation when you form a company. The very same. You cannot incorporate in the state of California, and probably the state where you live if you don't live here, without getting incorporated and getting that raised seal. That is the basic paperwork that says you are a corporation. Same thing is true in marriage. You're forming a corporation. 2 partners, 50% owners in the enterprise. That's the deal. So, being that we are talking about something essentially that is a business venture, and many of us now, of course, negotiate contracts. We call them antenuptial or prenuptial agreements. We, of course, have divorce attorneys working out elaborate contracts to split up property at the end. It's not unlike 2 companies splitting and going off their own separate directions, being sold off, whatever. Being that that's what we're talking about is a business venture, I don't see why anyone would be deeply troubled by a decision that allows gay people to have the same rights as straight people. Who really cares? Who cares? If gay people want to get married and have health insurance together and be able to pass down family heirlooms, to be able to be visited by the person they love when they get sick and things like that, to have children in a stable household where we all know what the last names are and we all know where we're going to be living, what is the problem with that? You know what? I'm not gay, never even tried it for a night, have no interest in it. Many people I know have experimented with it. Some people experimented, liked it so much they just kept doing it. And that's okay with me. But what I want to know is this. Why do you care what other people are doing? Why do you even care? So what if gay people get married? What is deeply troubling about that? If you are deeply troubled, the way the president is, about the Massachusetts State Supreme Court approving, in fact, mandating gay marriage, if you think that's deeply troubling, I want to talk to you.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
I love what you're doing for our young men of America.
Yes, it's a public service, as you know.
Well, absolutely.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Leykis on The Tom Leykis Show, 1-800-5800-TOM. Why are people deeply troubled? That's what the president said. He's deeply troubled by the decision of Massachusetts to allow gay couples to get married. It doesn't just allow it, it orders it. Brett on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I am disturbed by it because it's wrong.
Who said that?
It doesn't. It's just how it is. Nature.
What do you mean it is how it is? That's not a good enough reason for something that has to do with the law. It is what it is. No, not good enough.
So why is it right then?
Why? Because any 2 people should be able to form a partnership. I mean, as far as the state is concerned, all they're doing is setting up a corporation.
You think it's right for 2 guys to live together and have sex, even though it's...
I got a little bulletin for you, Brett. They're doing it already.
Yes, I know they're doing it, and that's just great.
And it's legal, too.
Well, it's wrong.
Most of the
It's
country.
not meant to be. It's not how nature meant things.
You know what? There's a lot of things that men do that nature didn't intend, or that you would think nature didn't intend. I'd be willing to bet that you have done most of the things that gay men do with a woman.
Okay.
Well, I thought, nature didn't intend that, did it?
Yeah, but still,
I'm asking you, Mr. Bible. Mr. What is right? Well, why are you? Well, why? What are you basing this on? It's wrong. Who says?
Do you see 2 same-sex animals having sex? Do you see 2?
Actually, there is a certain amount of that. Yes.
There is.
Yes.
Name one.
My dog humps my leg.
What? Yeah, but he's not actually doing it.
Actually, you'd be surprised. There are many dogs who will hump anything they can get their claws into.
Really?
Yeah.
Do plants reproduce with the same sex? Well,
if we use your standards, then people who are impotent, people who have no eggs and cannot reproduce, could not get married. You know, I've been married 4 times. I never had any intention of reproducing.
Right.
So, should I have been allowed to marry?
I guess from a business standpoint, it's totally different than if you're, I don't know, it's still wrong.
It is a business. The state, what other interest does the state have except collecting taxes and making sure that children have the proper last names? I mean, you tell me.
I guess none.
Right.
Because everybody wants their money, and this is another way for them to collect it.
That's all it is.
All right. Have a good day. Take me out THX style, man.
THX style. Here you go, Brett. One 800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Jeffrey on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
Okay, Jeffrey.
Well, I'm not so much deeply disturbed, but I just want to make an issue that is wrong because it's biblically wrong, and I think,
Well, we do not have a religious society here. We do not.
Not anymore, and that's why.
No, we never did. There was something called separation of church and state.
Well, no, that was something that was voted in, but
no, it was not voted in. You are wrong.
Am I wrong? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, the Bible has been around.
It doesn't matter. The United States of America has separation of church and state. It is not a theocracy.
Okay, and it's not a theocracy.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, just based on the Bible and based on what the Bible says.
The United States Constitution is not based on the Bible.
I beg your pardon?
The United States Constitution is not based on the Bible.
Oh, well, I beg to differ.
You do?
If you read the Constitution
and
really?
Read
the Bible, a lot of the words...
Well, glad you mentioned that. So let's go over some of the things that originally were legal in this country. Are you telling me the Bible endorses slavery?
No.
Really?
No.
Well, did God make a black man 3/5 a human being?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes,
so you are you black?
Yes, because yes.
And you are 3/5 of a man?
No, I'm not.
No, oh, you're not. But the Constitution once said that. Do you know that?
See, what I'm trying to say.
So you're saying it's biblically based. So I'm going over some of the biblical issues that were in there.
That doesn't make it right. God's word overrules man's word.
Really? Is that so?
Yes.
I see.
Because Genesis 1, God created man and the heavens and earth.
But guess what? In the United States, that's not the case. That is explicitly not the case.
And that's what's wrong with this country.
Well, whether it's right or wrong doesn't matter. That's the way it is.
Well, and that's unfortunate.
That's how it is. You know what? If you want to live in a theocracy, go live with all the ayatollahs and all the religious lunatics in the Middle East. That's a theocracy.
And they're wrong, too.
I don't believe in your religion, and I don't want people like you telling people like me what I can do.
And it's not me that's telling you. It's the word of God.
If you think gay marriage is wrong, there's a very simple solution. Here is your solution. I've got it for you. I got 4 words.
What's that?
Don't marry a man.
And it's not marriage. Marriage is...
If it's wrong, don't do it. If it's wrong, don't do it. That's your business. But don't tell us what we can do.
It's called sin.
What?
It's called sin.
Well, fine. You know what? There are plenty of sins that are legal. Do you know that?
I beg your pardon?
There are plenty of sins that are legal.
It says who? Says man? I would not listen.
Yes. You know what?
I'm not going to listen to the words of man.
Well, that's fine.
Man can't create man.
Well, I'll tell you this, Jeffrey. You tell the next police officer you see that you're not going to obey the laws of man, and you'll be in custody by the end of the day.
I am to obey the laws of this world, even though the world. The
all right. Well, the laws of this world say gay marriage is okay, at least in Massachusetts.
I'll obey God first, and I am.
Well, then fine. So so the solution is exactly what I said. If you believe gay marriage is wrong, don't marry a man. That way, you will be doing what you think is the right thing.
The moral fabric.
You can't make the rest of us do what you do.
Those type of rules.
We don't all agree with you on what is moral and what is not.
Well, don't agree with me. You got to look at the Bible.
Pal, I'm an atheist. The Bible is a wonderful little book of fiction.
I bet if you was an airplane going down, I bet you'd say, "Oh, God, help me."
No, I wouldn't, because you know what? If I'm an airplane going down, God isn't doing crap for me.
It is in
far as I'm concerned, God made the plane crash. It's all God's fault.
Yeah. I wish
That's right.
I wish I was there when you were going down.
I'll bet you do.
You want to come up?
I'll bet you do.
Oh, God, save me.
I'll bet, yeah, not a chance, pal. Not a chance. Okay. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Lou on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello?
Is that a question or a statement?
It's a statement.
Lou, hello.
Yeah, hi. I just feel that legally, I guess they have a point, gays have a point of getting married, but it's just that I've been married for 10 years to my wife, and I love her very much.
Great.
And I just feel that when two people of the same sex get married, it just takes something away from the sacredness of a marriage.
It doesn't affect your marriage at all. It does not affect your marriage at all. You're still married to your wife, and she's still wonderful, and you're very, very much in love.
Yes, but to me,
and this
marriage
does not change any of that.
But to me, marriage is something that a woman and a man...
You know what? It doesn't matter what other people's marriages are like, or who they're with, or what they do.
It does when my daughter has to walk around, and I have to answer these questions why these two men are holding hands. Or
being able to get married doesn't change that at all. Gay men are walking hand in hand as I speak.
Yeah, but it's all
gay men are kissing and grabbing each other's asses, and you got TV shows like Queer as Folk and Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. You can't escape it. It's everywhere, and that's where it's going to be.
Queer as Folk and Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. That stuff's there just for money, just to make people money.
Well, that's what all television is for. Wake up.
Exactly. So what's that?
And radio, for that matter.
That has nothing to do with marriage. Why are you bringing that up?
Well, because the fact is, the state where you live, all they care about is collecting taxes and making sure that children who are born are cared for. That's the only interest the state has. Not whether something is right or wrong or good or bad or thumbs up or thumbs down. And beyond that, it's none of the state's business.
This has really got more to do than just money, I think. I think it's just a bunch of politicians that are scared, or judges that are scared to stand up for what's right. The majority of...
Why would the Supreme Court judge in Massachusetts? These guys are not elected. These guys are appointed. Why would they care?
We're going to end up losing...
No, but they don't owe the politicians anything. Frequently, Supreme Court judges I know on the national level, they do the exact opposite of what everybody thought they were going to do. And they don't answer to anybody.
Well, eventually, because times change, and the judges change. And at the point...
Right, times change, you're right. And that's why this is happening now.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just a hard thing for me to accept.
Well, then don't marry a man. That's the solution. Don't marry a man.
Oh, I won't.
Right. Well, there. So if you think it's wrong, don't do it.
It's just scary when we come to a time in this country when I have to work. Hal,
this time has existed in this country since before you were born.
Yeah, but I didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah, well, you did have to deal with it. It was all over.
Well, I guess I was...
You're 30 years old? You were born in...
from it because I never seen it.
You were born in 1973?
Yes.
Yeah, can I tell you something? The gay rights movement existed before you were born.
Well, I did.
Greenwich Village existed before you were born.
Well,
the Castro existed before you were born. I mean, come on. West Hollywood existed.
I guess
Key West existed.
It's just, I can't even go down there. I was talking about that with my wife because of that.
Oh, yeah. Might run into a homo.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis, only on Hot Talk 1080 KO.
This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles, 1-800-5800-TOM. Yes, the Massachusetts Supreme Court said that gays have the right to marry. Gay men, lesbians have the right to marry. They don't need to have civil unions. They can get married. And the president is deeply troubled by this. Are you deeply troubled by this? Bob on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Bob.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. I am deeply troubled by this.
Why?
Well, it's not just the gays. It's all the special interest groups lobbying for more rights. Why should the gays be granted tax breaks and insurance breaks and everything else?
Well, first of all, I don't think people should get tax breaks to get married. Let's start with that.
I agree.
I also don't think people should get tax breaks to have children, something they're going to do anyway.
I agree.
All right, so the fact that these tax breaks exist That's because only breeders can get married. Frankly, maybe if gay people are getting married, maybe we'll think twice about granting all of these benefits to people who are married.
Well, your main point. However, it is the current law of the land. I don't see having these corporations, these marriages, being recognized by the state or the
Why not?
government.
Why is that a problem?
Why should they get a tax break?
Well, first of all, again, it's discriminatory, for one thing. You're discriminating against the class of people. Any two adults should be able to get married to each other. That's it.
Okay, granted, I'll give you that. However, the people getting married, which the current law of the land recognizes male-female union.
Well, I don't know why they do. What is the point of that?
Well, it's the law. It is what it is.
No, but the law's wrong.
That very well may be. However,
but I'll tell you what else is wrong, and that is discriminating against an entire class of people.
I don't think it's discriminatory.
Of course it is.
No, nonsense. Just because they're gay doesn't mean they should have more rights.
Not more rights, the same rights you have.
No, that's absurd.
Why shouldn't they have the same rights you have?
Where does it end? Should
because every American should have the same rights. I don't see why one group of Americans should have more rights than another.
Oh no!
You're trying to make it sound like gay people have more rights than straight people. That's ridiculous.
How about convicts? They're a big section of the population. Should they have the same rights as everyone else?
No, but they've broken the law. See, and that's why they don't deserve the same rights as everybody else.
Well,
have gay people broken the law? Are gay people breaking the law?
It depends where you live, I guess.
No, these laws have been declared unconstitutional. It is not illegal to be gay.
I tell you what, there's sodomy laws in a lot of...
They've been declared unconstitutional. They're illegal. You can make all the laws you want. If they're not constitutional, they can't be enforced.
Okay, granted, I think that's why this is such a big issue. If gays...
And by the way, I know for a fact that you have been a sodomist yourself.
You know for a fact?
Of course I do. And you know why I know it? Because most people don't know the definition of sodomy. And the definition has nothing to do with whether people of the same sex or the opposite sex. If you've ever engaged in anal or oral sex, you're a sodomist.
Well, I don't believe sodomy has anything to do with oral sex, but...
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Look it up. Yes, it does.
What does that have to do with gays?
Well, you just said sodomy, illegal, they've broken laws. You've broken the same laws.
Again, irrelevant to the conversation.
No, it's not irrelevant. You brought up sodomy. I didn't bring it up, but since you brought it up, have you been a sodomist?
What does this have to do with gays?
You brought up sodomy. I asked you if gays are breaking the law, and I said they're not. And you said, what about sodomy laws? And I said, well, you've broken the sodomy laws. And does that mean you shouldn't have rights?
Well, technically, we just talked about convicts breaking the law, not having the same rights.
But again, I'm pointing out to you that you've broken the same law that anybody who's gay has broken. The laws which have been declared unconstitutional, by the way, you've broken these laws. So should you not have the same rights?
Well, personally, I've never engaged in anal sex of any type.
But oral sex you have. And that is, any dictionary will tell you, that is sodomy.
Well, I'll dispute that. I don't have a dictionary.
Well, you don't have a dictionary. Pal, just because you don't have a dictionary, you're disputing it. What are you basing your dispute on?
That's not my understanding.
I mean, it is anything. Sodomy is any kind of sex other than intercourse. That's what it is.
That very well may be.
That's what it is, and you have engaged in sodomy.
Okay, well...
And so should you not have the same rights as everybody else?
I guess that's for the courts to decide.
You brought it up, pal. You brought that up as an excuse for gay people not having the same rights as everybody else.
No.
You said, what about sodomy law?
No, you said they're not doing anything illegal.
They're not doing anything illegal. And just the fact that you've made a law, if it's unconstitutional, it doesn't matter that the law exists. Well, hang on a second. Julian, what did you want to say to Bob here?
Joe, I just want to tell this knucklehead, I don't know where he's from, but you got to wake up, okay? This is the 21st century. I mean, there's gays, there's blacks, there's every kind of denomination you could possibly imagine. And if you're going to be living in such a box, and to say that gay people are wrong because they want to get married, I mean, you're completely nuts. I mean, I've been with my partner for the last 3 years.
God bless you. More power to you.
Yeah, and you know what? And let me tell you something. This shows you how much acceptance I have around my family. And my mother was there when we signed our civil union papers, for one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's great. But, you know, absolutely. But let me tell you something. For you to sit here and to say that our lifestyle is any far off or any worse than yours.
I'm not saying it's worse. I've never said it's worse.
Well,
I'm not judging. I'm not condemning nor condoning. All I'm saying is I am sick of special interest groups lobbying for extra rights.
It has nothing to do with special interest groups. It has nothing to do with special interest groups. What it comes down to one thing. Our society is changing. We're becoming more of a society that is being more accepting of different types of lifestyles, different types of nationalities.
I don't believe that at all. What are you telling me? Pedophilia is fine?
No, that's not a lifestyle. First of all, that's not, and that for one, that's illegal. Okay, but I'm not talking about that at all. What I'm telling you is that you need to open your mind a little bit and know that our lifestyle is there's nothing wrong with, you know, two people wanting to get married of the same sex.
You know what? You can live together all your lives. You can have common law marriages, but apparently it's not enough.
What is not enough? I mean, because we don't share the same tax incentives that you do.
Listen. Tom went over this first thing at the top of the show. Marriage is nothing but a business contract.
Right, and why shouldn't I enjoy the same business contract, quote unquote, as, let's say, a straight couple should?
Well, because it's just
because why? Because of the sexuality issue. That's what it comes down to. Right?
It's got nothing to do with the sexuality issue. Where does it end?
Where does what end?
Where does it end? Should everyone who lives a alternate or other lifestyle form be granted rights simply because it's different?
Right, absolutely. Sure.
They should.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well then, then it's anarchy. Then it's chaos. Where does it end?
It's not anarchy. The Massachusetts Supreme Court ordered gay marriage. That's it.
Well, he's calling it anarchy, apparently, Tom. So.
Yeah, well, it's hardly anarchy when the Supreme Court is ordering it.
Yeah, well, you know, this Bob Knucklehead guy has got to open his eyes a little bit because, you know,
wait a minute. First of all, I have not insulted you. I have not referred to you in any derogatory term. I don't feel that I deserve to be referred to as a knucklehead. Maybe you should open your mind to an alternate point of view with the same open...
I'm living it, buddy. I'm living it.
You're living it. You're referring to me as knucklehead repeatedly. I don't appreciate it. I haven't talked down to you.
Well, I don't appreciate...
I haven't referred to you in a derogatory term. I am simply stating my opinion, which constitutionally I am guaranteed to be allowed to do.
Should gay people be allowed to have freedom of speech?
Absolutely.
I mean, they have a different lifestyle. Maybe they shouldn't have freedom of speech or freedom of expression because they're gay, right?
Not only that, but
listen, you're constitutionally guaranteed the same rights as everyone else.
No, they're not because they can't get married.
They can get married.
That's to people of the opposite sex.
Massachusetts has allowed it.
Only in Massachusetts.
That's fine. Go to Massachusetts.
Yeah, but the point is it should be legal everywhere.
I don't know about that. You're saying
what? You think we need a constitutional amendment to prevent this from happening? Why? Who cares?
Well, you know what? I don't think it should be a constitutional amendment. First of all, I don't believe government should be involved in people's
your president is so deeply troubled by this. He wants to fabricate a constitutional amendment.
Well, I don't know if that's prudent or not, to be honest with you. But I tell you what, I'm sick and tired of everybody wanting more rights.
You've said this 4 times, and I think that's about the limit.
David.
Tom Leykis Show, 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. I'm talking to people who agree with the President of the United States who finds the Massachusetts Supreme Court decision to enforce gay marriage to be deeply troubling. Deeply troubling. Ellen on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
How are you?
Do you care, Ellen?
Well, of course, or I wouldn't call.
Many do.
But do not agree.
About what?
With you.
Why?
Because you say sodomy is illegal, right?
No, that's not what I said. There are some states that have tried to make sodomy laws, but fact is that most of them have been declared unconstitutional.
Okay, so... But sodomy is not the right thing, right? It's a sin.
What's wrong with it? I think every man listening has engaged in sodomy.
Well, yeah, so you say, okay, then why is...
Including me.
Why is it fine for one man to engage in anal sex with another man?
Why is it okay? Because anything that happens in the bedroom between two consenting adults is okay.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is true.
It's not okay.
Of course it is. Why not?
Have you done that?
No, I don't particularly care for it, but those who do should be able to do it. What do I care what they do?
Well, then everything that everybody does should be okay.
No, we're not talking about everything that everybody does. We're talking about sex.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. And you cannot police people's bedrooms.
Well, that's true, and it's fine if that's what they want to do behind closed doors.
Well, you know what? Everyone's supposed to have sex. Everybody is supposed to have sex behind closed doors. Yeah, so you should be able to have sex out in public, but gay people shouldn't?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I see. So you think it's okay for you to have sex in front of other people?
Well, if it's male and female.
Oh, so you're telling me that if a 6-year-old sees you having sex with your husband or boyfriend or whatever, booty call.
Well, it would be better than a male and a female.
You think that would be good for a kid to say?
Female and a female.
Well, you know what? It's illegal in most places anyway. For anybody to do that, including you. Hey, tell your coach to shut up. And you tell him to stop hiding behind your skirt. You know what? Let him buy a phone. If he wants to be on the air, he can call in himself. I do not want to hear you mouthing his words.
Too long to get through.
I don't give a rat's ass. You know what? Don't call here if you're going to be saying somebody else's words. Hey.
We discussed it.
I don't really give a rat's ass what you discussed.
1-800-5800-TOM.
One thing I can recommend for any of our listeners getting married, take a good long look at your balls. Because if the woman has her way, you'll never see them again.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show, 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Nikki, hello.
Tom?
Yes?
Hello? First-time caller with your... Hello?
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm calling in about the...
Who did you want to talk to, ma'am?
I want to talk to Tom, and I know I'm talking to Tom.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Why are you acting dizzy?
Well, because I got your cell phone, and it's fuzzing in and out.
Well,
anyway,
I think it's your brain that's fuzzing in and out. But go ahead.
No, that's your brain. No,
I don't think so at all.
It's because you're treating this like these are a group of people as if they were African American or Chinese or something, and their
Many of them are
elected for all these years. No, it's a group of people who have a sexual preference. There's no who have a
well, you call it a sexual preference. Most people call it a sexual orientation.
Oh, no, there's nothing proving that this is genetic.
Nothing proving it isn't.
Yes, it does make a difference.
I said there's nothing proving it isn't. You can't hear a word I'm saying.
People who are born black, there's something that they can't make a choice about. Okay, people who are born, Jewish and who have anti-Semites against them, well, yeah, they don't have a choice. But these people have a choice.
But the fact is, you don't know. You're not gay.
There's no studies. They've been studying this for years, Tom, and there's nothing coming out.
There's no proof of what you say either.
Okay, please.
There's no proof of it.
There's no difference between them and the people who like to be whipped by a dominatrix while they're having sex.
And you know what? They have rights too.
Okay, then how about, you know what, how about this child pornography where they do...
We're not talking about children here. Don't mix up the issue. We're talking about adults.
No, I'm talking about an adult who...
We're not talking about the rights... The rights of children are a separate issue. We are not...
Let me finish.
I don't want to hear the word child.
Okay.
We're not talking about children.
I'm talking about the computer generated...
I don't care what you're talking about. I don't want to hear the word child in this conversation. It has nothing to do with children.
No, I'm talking about a sexual...
Last chance.
And the people who are doing...
If I hear it again, I'm hanging up.
Okay, fine, Mr. Almighty, with your power of hanging up, because you don't want to hear it, so you
I told you right now, do not mention the word child again during this conversation.
Okay, well, I'm telling you is that there's no difference between people and their sexual preferences doesn't automatically give them certain rights that other people...
Well, no, it's not automatic. That's why the Supreme Court did this. The rights were not automatic. The Supreme